So, of course, the first thing is we have things that enter the mitochondria, and that major nutrient, that major compound that's going to enter that mitochondria is going to be acetyl CoA. And acetyl CoA is made from fats, carbs, and proteins. So the first thing I always tell people is we have to make sure we can digest and break down our fats, carbs, and proteins, and we have to make sure we have good proteins and good fats primarily. Carbohydrates, of course, if you're more active, you can always do more safe starches and make sure you're not doing too many grains and inflammatory refined sugar. But we need good fats, we need good proteins because that performs and creates a really good building block for that acetyl CoA. And we need that for really, really, really good mitochondrial production.
Yep. Let's dive into this study. This is really cool. One of my favorites. This guy, Dr. Brewer.
Oh, if you don't mind, I want to just hit one more thing. I want to set the table a little bit more for the listeners.
Okay.
Let me just do this here real quick. All right. This is a really, really good picture. Can you see that on my screen yet?
Yep, there it is.
Okay, good. This gives you a pretty good idea. So the mitochondria is kind of the powerhouse of the cell. All right. And so when you look at energy, we first have the cytosol. That's outside of the cell. This is glucose. Glucose comes in. Glycolysis means breaking down glucose. Glyco means glucose. And then lysis means breaking down. So we generate a little bit of energy here, ATP, from glycolysis. Okay. Then that little bit of energy then moves into the mitochondria. So this is the mitochondria here right now. So we have acetyl CoA. Acetyl CoA then starts going into the Krebs cycle. That Krebs cycle is going to turn twice, and it's typically, I forget exactly, I think it's 2 to 3 NADH are going to be spit out per 1 FADH2. And this is going to turn around twice. And then these different electrons, these hydrogens that are collected from the Krebs cycle, the NADH and the FADH2, 2 to 3 NADH, 1 FADH2, going to enter the electron transport chain, and then more ATP is then created. So I want to say it's like 36 to 39 ATP are created from glucose to Krebs cycle to electron transport chain. And I want to say it's 2 or 3 for glucose, glycolysis, 2 or 3 for the Krebs cycle, maybe 6 for the Krebs cycle. And the electron transport chain is the majority of where it happens. I want to say 33 or so. I want to say it's about 36 to 39 total ATP per this whole thing. And this is the mitochondria right here. So most of this stuff happens in the mitochondria, and then some of it happens outside in the cytosol.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. So
Mhm.
if someone has major mitochondrial issues, according to this picture, it looks like you would still be able to generate some, but it's going to be a minimal amount of ATP created from glycolysis. Is that true?
Correct. And then glycolysis is going to be dirty fuel, right? So you're going to get a lot more oxidative stress because of the advanced glycation end products that occur when you start making a lot of sugar, right? A lot of sugar, you coat your proteins, right? This increases oxidation. Oxidation's going to then require more electrons to stabilize it. Because when you oxidize something, right? Think of cutting open an avocado and it browns, right? Or think about cutting open an apple and it browns, you're losing electrons. That's what's happening there. Now, you can easily go take a nice lemon or lime and squeeze the vitamin C from that on there, and that will prevent it from oxidizing. So, the difference in your body is going to require a lot more antioxidant reserves if you start creating a lot of oxidative stress. So, glucose always burns dirty. Okay. And there's a really good book by Christofferson called Tripping Over the Truth. And it's a book all about mitochondria and glucose and cancer. So there's a lot of data on this stuff already. So really important to know. That's why we want to be more fat burners, good proteins, and you can get carbs, according to your metabolic needs. If you're more active and you're healthier and more fit and more lean and more active, then you can definitely add in some good, high quality, safe starches. But you really want to dial that in according to your metabolic needs. It's not a set kind of size for everyone.
Very cool. Thanks for the picture. That's awesome to see. So, where do the toxins come into the picture? Well, the toxins are going to damage the mitochondria. So, as you showed here, you can make some energy outside of the mitochondria. So, you can still, quote, get by, but you may be exhausted if that Krebs cycle isn't working properly.